So previously I had the idea to go visit jungle habitat, but I didn't really follow through with it because there was a lot of walking to do that day and I wasn't really prepared. But now I am. So, for context, jungle habitat is a former zoo park thing that's located in West Milford, New Jersey. And since it's closed, it's become more of a nature trail. But there's still like little remnants of it that you can see on the walk. With the curious person that I am, I'm gonna go check it out. And I also got my Explored t-shirt on today too, so makes it even better. I just came off of Marshall Hill Road, and this is the road that leads you up to the Greenwood Lake Airport, which will be on the right. And then if you just keep going straight, that is the parking lot for the trail for jungle habitat. So I can see there's already 2 cars up there. There's the Greenwood Lake Airport. And then Long Pond Ironworks State Park. That's where I need to go. And we're here. So this path that I'm taking right now is what would be the entry road into the jungle habitat parking lot. You can still see the lines that were painted for the road. You can tell I don't exercise much because I haven't even gotten to jungle habitat's parking lot and I already walked up all of that. Almost there. Made it up to the parking lot area. So there's a little patch of pavement. I was also here too. I'm not sure if that was employee parking or like a guard tower or something. Possibly. Behind me is the parking lot. Also, I brought this giant gallon water with me today because I knew with all this walking around, I definitely would need it. So when this park opened up, it was in 1972 and it was under control of the Warner Brothers company. Somebody's at the airport right now. It started to run into a lot of problems later on. And by 1976, residents of West Milford were like, hey, no, you can't do any expansion stuff here. And then the company was like, okay, cool. And so the park shut down shortly thereafter. Since 1976, it's just kind of went into a state of disrepair. And since its closure 47 years ago, it's become a very popular spot for nature-related events. And it was also featured on Weird New Jersey, which I believe is how I initially found out about this. I'm just trying to imagine families in the 70s walking through this park and what their thoughts of it would be. I'm sure there would have been music blasting through speakers around here. And then a bunch of Looney Tunes characters also showing up. Found a little river. Take me to the river. Dunk me in the water. I'm honestly glad that I decided to come here when I did, because if I came any earlier, I definitely would have gotten eaten alive by mosquitoes. Found my first bits of wildlife here. Oh, there they go. At a certain point here, the pavement just kind of gives out and it just entirely covered by leaves. I see pavement again. I do find it very interesting that over the few decades that this place has just been abandoned, like, if it wasn't for this path, you honestly wouldn't have been able to tell that it was formerly a park. Almost all the stuff from jungle habitat is pretty much gone now. Although I did see on Google Maps that there's a lion enclosure that's a little bit further up on this trail. So let's go check that out. I just think it's very fascinating the kind of impact that humans can have on an environment. Because, like, we're the only species to think of doing something like this, where you make a path of rocks to make it easier to walk. And then once all those humans are gone from this area, it's still there. Already walked over 1 mile. Yeah. Finally made it over to the former lion enclosure. Fencing. And then past that fencing, you could see down there, mountain ranges. That area down there leads over towards Upper Greenwood Lake and Greenwood Lake, New York. There's lots of barbed wire up here, and the fence is opened up, so you got to imagine. If I was a lion back in the 70s at this park, I'd be like, "Arr, arr, I'm a lion in New Jersey." Arr. And now, after leaving the lion enclosure, it's pretty much just forest until I get back to the parking lot. And so, this is a path that was cleared for telephone poles. I'm not sure when this happened, but it had to be after this park closed. So, if you go west this way, this will lead you over towards Vernon Township in Sussex County. Most of the town is within those mountains, but there's a little valley that goes underneath there, all the way in the distance. And I believe it's the same with West Milford. Here, I'm in West Milford Township in Passaic County. And then continuing east would be the Ramapo Mountains, which I was at previously. And then you reach Oakland in Bergen And then you reach Oakland in Bergen County. That just pretty much continues like that. This is the nicest view that I've gotten thus far. I can imagine for people who are doing plane spotting, this would be a really good location to do it, because Greenwood Lake Airport is right at the bottom down there, and then just seeing them come by, it's pretty cool. Oh, I think that one's landing. Yep, they're landing. Nice. And if the path wasn't so treacherous to get down to there, I would just cut across right now, but I'm gonna try my best to loop back around. All right, so now I'm starting to make my way towards the exit. I did find one thing that's still standing after all these years. Whatever that thing is. Kind of looks like a little information hub. 1. It just says 1. I'm gonna see if I could go take a closer look. I found out what it is. It's a telephone. And then there's air vents that are down here. I think it's just so funny. Out of anything in this park that's still here, nobody's touched this telephone box. I'm stuck in the middle of nowhere. I need to call somebody. What? And this thing's still got the electrical wiring underneath. But where's the telephone pole? Well, that was honestly a pleasant surprise. You know, amongst these guardrails and walks of pavement, there isn't much that's left here. But you know what? That was nice to see that. Trying to figure out what this spot was. I don't really see any fencing around here, so it seems like it could have been a restaurant, a cafe, or maybe like a camp. Something. I think it's pretty funny that I've started to see more on my way out than I have when I was first coming in. It's pretty cool. All right, now I come up on something entirely different from jungle habitat because this thing's got a brick wall over here. And I believe there's some people on ATVs down there. Yeah, I should definitely move out of the way. Okay, looks like my jungle habitat journey's over. Now I've come up on Passaic County Route 511. There's a path that still continues up that way. And yet somehow, I ended up on the side of the road. Well, the walk back to the parking lot won't be that terrible. I just gotta stay to the side. It's so funny. I've driven on this road so many times, but I've never walked on it. This is so weird. Yeah, Route 511. All the New York City commuters are returning home from their 9-to-5 jobs, and they're like, what the heck is this kid doing on the side of the road? You know, you've made it back to civilization when you see a bunch of random crap on the side of the road. I'm getting kind of hungry now. Maybe I'll go into West Milford to get something to eat. All right, I'm making my next turn. I better put on my turn signal now. Just a little further up that way. I'm back to the car. I just had a random dog approach me. The dog literally crossed the street just to say hello to me. I was so confused, but then the dog eventually walked back home. That was weird. The last leg of my journey today. Get up that hill. Looks like I gotta head up to the I can't speak. Model Railway Post Office. I made it back. You know, if I were to drive up here, it would literally just take me 2 minutes to get from the bottom of the hill to here. I don't even know how much time has passed anymore. I just burnt over 700 calories. Yay me. Ow. I'm not even sure how I ended up outside of a jungle habitat property, but you know what? I made it back here, and that's the only thing that I care about.